The real war in Iran is the war of identity. Iran does not have Mecca. Iran does not have Medina. And Iran claims to be the real representative of Islam. So what competition do they have with Saudi Arabia, the Sunni government? The issue of Palestine. We are the ones who are fighting for Palestine. How? Hezbollah, funding Hamas, funding Hezbollah, and so on. It's more of a war of identity. And when someone has a problem in his identity, he becomes a terrorist on all levels. I said that before 1979, the Iranian community had no problem with the Jewish people. And what I meant was, before the Ayatollahs took over the government, the Shia Muslims in general, and we could even extend this to Iraq, the Shia Muslims in general don't have a problem with the Jewish people. My brother here is a Sunni. I'm not saying him, but the Sunni leaders call us Shia the Jews of Islam. So we Shia, we don't really have any ambitions to establish governments, which is why the real authentic scholars in Islam do not recognize the Iranian regime. We don't believe that Muhammad had a government, and we're against all of the caliphs and all of the caliphates, which is why ISIS butchers us. The Shia Muslims have always been businessmen, farmers, people who live their lives however they like day to day, and we don't get involved in any of this. Before 1979, the Jews and the Muslims in Iran lived in peace. The Safawi dynasty, yes, on paper they seem as though they have a manifesto, they have an ideology. They were drunken thugs. Nobody took them seriously. The Safawis themselves, they used to kill each other over power. And they were switching from Sunni to Shia, Shia to Sunni. They don't even know what they want. And because of that, today Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the UAE, they refer to the crazy tyrants in Tehran. They call them Safavids because they're showing the same behavior as the Safavids did. This is not a stable dynasty. This is a dynasty of maniacs. And the only reason why the majority of the Shia are silent about their corruption, that is because most of the shrines, holy sites today, in Mashhad, in Qom, in Iran, in Shia Islam in general, renovated by the Safawis, and their names are on them in calligraphy. So if I were to say, this man is a drunken thug, then how can his name be engraved in the holy sites in gold in Mashhad or Qom? So this chapter of development within the Iranian or Persia, the Persian region, is somewhat, we're silent about that because it shames us. But they are no one for us to take seriously. And when I say the Shia were good with the Jews, you can always compare. The Jewish community in Iran has been thriving for a very long time. Khomeini and his gang, they came and they drove them out. They left a small minority, which the rabbi mentioned, but they're only there so that the Ayatollahs can say, see, we have Jews in Iran, we love them. But the same Iranian militias butcher the leftover of Jews in Iraq. The same ones go targeting Jews in every other community. Who funds the BDS? Who funds CARE? Who funds NIAC? Who funds these organizations around the world? Who funds these clerics to go out and preach against the Jews? I chanted, they forced me to chant for 7 years during my studies in Iran, death to the Jews. Who's chanting every Friday? Them, the Iranians do, every Friday. Live TV, every mosque throughout the country, after Friday prayers, they chant, if not after every prayer. So the regime in Iran is not only anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitism is a small contribution of what they bring. They are a terrorist regime. And when you're a terrorist regime, they are terrorists on all levels against the Christians and especially the Jews. Because the real war, and this is something I would like to wrap up with, but to clarify, the real war in Iran is the war of identity. Iran does not have Mecca. Iran does not have Medina. And Iran claims to be the real representative of Islam. So what competition do they have with Saudi Arabia, the Sunni government? The issue of Palestine. We are the ones who are fighting for Palestine. How? Hezbollah, funding Hamas, funding Hezbollah, and so on. It's more of a war of identity. And when someone has a problem in his identity, he becomes a terrorist on all levels, especially when they have nuclear powers. So anti-Semitism is a given. It is part of their identity. And this is why they can never be trusted. And we can never deal with them. And any American administration that thinks there can be a deal with these people is fooling themselves and the rest of America and the voters. Never, we can never deal with them. And I think they need to be called out through their embassies. And by embassies with an S, I mean the clerics that they send. When I was involved in making sure that the Iranian embassy in Ottawa, Canada, just next door, remains closed, the clerics in Iran said, is the mosque that we have still operating? And the answer was yes. That's it, we have the mosque. The mosques of Iran bring in more recruits and more funding and more political power and social dominance than an embassy ever could. So they need to be called out on all levels, on a diplomatic level and on a social level. And yes, their anti-Semitism is part of their identity. These people are very easy to brainwash. And it's amazing how easy it can be. I mean, if I were to say, I'm going to attend a peace event with the Jewish community, an Islamic extremist knows he cannot oppose peace because you look bad, but what he can say, the people who are the descendants of the monkeys and the pigs, you're going with them, you see? So any Muslim who hears that will immediately change. I'm not going to the event anymore. So you can spend a long time preparing a curriculum, changing a culture, and come one extremist with one comment online can put them off. I think we need actual written work and in academic educational environments where people cannot be brainwashed quickly and pressured, and social media is the best place to be brainwashed and the best place to change your mind about anything so fast. So that's to begin with. If you have any hope of change coming from Muslim leaders in Palestine or political leaders in Israel, then you need to reassess and your judgment. Let me give you an example. Have you heard of Azmi Bshara, former member of the Knesset? Azmi Bshara, his name is Abu Tony. He's an alcoholic, drunken fool who even his own people don't take him seriously. A Christian, drunken. Abu Tony is the supervisor of the Muslim Brotherhood operations around the world. Can you believe it? You tell the Muslim Brotherhood, and today he serves as one of the right-hand men for the Emir of Qatar. And he's with him in all the pictures, showing him around. He knows Qatar more than the Emir himself. He tells the Emir where to go, where to come. So, since when did the Muslim Brotherhood accept a man who is Abu Tony, a Christian, alcoholic, Israeli, former member of the Knesset? Since when did they accept this man to monitor and supervise their operations? Since the money was good. That's since when? These people are in there for their own benefit. And the Islamic extremists recruit them because they know what they're like. The Muslim leaders in Palestine, if they want in Israel or Hamas or the Palestinian Authority, if they really wanted for the Muslims to know the reality of the Jews and to open a door of dialogue and acceptance of culture, they don't need anybody else. They have themselves. They have the best platforms. They are there in government buildings with them. Who funds them? How does the funding get to them? If they wanted to, they would have a long time ago. But it's not in their interest. What, you wanted them to now think that the Jews are humans like everybody else? How is he going to be a billionaire? Where is he going to get the children from their mothers to, hey, go blow yourself up? Where is he going to get an army? We're not dealing with people who are good people. These are evil people, and they have an evil agenda.
If you have a 401k or an IRA, please listen. Gold is at record highs. What many people don't know is this. You can move part of your retirement money legally and without tax penalties into physical gold you actually own. Alpha Omega Gold helps you do this through a gold IRA. Your gold is real. It is stored safely. It is in your name. Learn more at ao.gold/stand. Alpha Omega Gold is our sponsor, and they proudly stand with Israel.